Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
This morning, a motorcyclist is dead after an accident on the major highway. What police say caused it and how many other vehicles were involved. A massive fire taking over a home near the 5 Points area early this morning. What we know about it so far.
It is very humid outside. The humidity, one of the factors that's going to bring us a few spotty downpours later today. Details in just a bit.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. on your Sunday, July 27th. Sarah, we are almost done with July, which is crazy. And what's also crazy to me is that we've only had 4 100-degree days so far.
4 100-degree days. Most of those actually happened in May, with one happening last week. And I think in the week ahead, we could hit 100 degrees again, but it could be a lot worse. We could be looking at day after day of 100-degree weather.
Don't want to do that again.
No, we do not. And today we do have a chance for rain just like yesterday. That's going to keep our temperatures from soaring into the triple digits. Here's a look outside right now. It's 78 degrees, pretty warm and definitely humid. This is a look at the humidity. It's 88% humidity in San Antonio at the moment. Anywhere from 85 to 95 relative humidity anywhere you go around south central Texas. So a very humid start to the day. And this is a look at the rain that happened yesterday. You can see very spotty. A lot of people missed out on the rain out toward New Braunfels, San Marcos, and Seguin. And around San Antonio, there were a few areas that received a decent amount of rain. Near to Kirby, about ½ inch of rain. Just to the east there of Fair Oaks Ranch, about 3/4 of an inch of rain near Leon Valley as well. But just like yesterday, we're going to have spotty downpours in the afternoon. 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., that is the chance for rain. Your chance is about 30% to see rain in your backyard. Otherwise, warm, 95 for the high, feeling closer to 99. But as I mentioned earlier, it's going to get hotter in the week ahead. But before we can stay hot for too long, we've got another rain chance to talk about. Details in a few minutes. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. This morning, one man is dead after being hit by multiple vehicles. This happened around 11 p.m. last night on I-10 near UTSA Boulevard. Police say a motorcyclist was speeding when an 18-wheeler changing lanes didn't see him and hit him. The rider fell off of his bike and then was struck again by another 18-wheeler and possibly other cars. He was pronounced dead when first responders arrived. The drivers of the 18-wheelers and other vehicles did stop to call 911 and render aid. At this time, no charges have been filed. Take a look at this video where you could see that smoke and flames coming through the roof of a home. This is just north of downtown near the 5 Points area. So earlier, at least 25 trucks were on scene when the fire first broke out around 2:30 this morning. I just checked. Still has a couple of units, probably just putting out some hot spots at this time. So this happening on Duffield Street, not far from South San Pedro Avenue and Fredericksburg Road. You can see that the building just taken over by that smoke and flames as firefighters work to put it out. As of right now, there are no known injuries or what caused that fire. And we're learning more about a deadly stabbing we first brought to you on the Night Beat. A man is behind bars this morning in connection with alleged homicide. This happening in Fair Oaks Ranch. 34-year-old Allison Paul Clark IV told Fair Oaks police that he stabbed his father and then he was booked into the Bexar County Adult Detention Center on a murder charge. The Fair Oaks Ranch police responded to the scene yesterday morning at Dewberry Ridge. That's near Dietz Elkhorn Road. When officers arrived, they found a 71-year-old man with stab wounds. A kitchen knife was found in this kitchen sink. Fair Oaks Ranch officials believe the incident may have started from an argument. And another man is dead after being shot by New Braunfels police, who say he pulled a knife and lunged at them. This happened yesterday afternoon at an apartment complex on West San Antonio Street. That's not far from I-35. New Braunfels police say officers were responding to the disturbance between a man and a woman in that area. When they found the pair, they say the man lunged at them with a knife. Excuse me. Officers opened fire, killing the man. No one else was hurt. So 2 officers have been placed on leave pending that investigation by New Braunfels PD and the Texas Rangers. We also know more about a deadly shooting that happened on the city's south side. So this happened yesterday morning. We first brought it to you on GMSA at 8:30 on Bristol Avenue near Mission Road. Police say they arrived to the home to find a man dead outside with multiple gunshot wounds. They learned that the man's girlfriend told officers that he and her had some kind of disagreement. And at some point, the son drove to the home and shot the man. Right now, it's not clear if that son has been arrested. In Michigan, at least 11 people were treated at a hospital after a mass stabbing incident Saturday at a Walmart in Traverse City. So the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office says it appears the victims were attacked at random. One suspect is in custody and was not injured. The law enforcement there says they have the knife they believe was used in the attacks, that it's a folding knife. No possible word on a motive. Hospital officials say as of Saturday evening, 6 victims are in critical condition and 5 are in serious. Meanwhile, the latest federal government cuts from the Trump administration are being directed at NASA. So according to them, over 3,000 employees accepted the agency's offer for deferred resignation, early retirement, or voluntary separation. So the deadline for the resignation program was midnight on Friday. These latest cuts come days after 287 scientists and employees criticized NASA for the cuts they say could pose a risk to the astronauts' safety. The number of missing people in the Hill Country has dropped significantly. However, volunteers are still doing their part to reunite families with their loved ones. A canine from South Carolina is getting love and attention because of the hard work she has been doing to locate human remains along the Guadalupe River. Her name is Kite, and her handler's name is Cheryl, and they're responsible for locating several people who have died in the Hill Country floods.
Everything is based off of her nose. That's what I go on. You have to trust your canine. It's stressful and it's gratifying. It's because you know that at the end of the day, if you find someone's loved one, you're giving them some piece of closure.
Thank you so much to Kite and her handler Cheryl for all of the hard work that you've been doing, providing those families closure. It's 8:07, 78 degrees. Researchers and residents in Northwest Bexar County say a possible wastewater treatment plant could threaten the quality of San Antonio's drinking water for 1.7 million people. So what environmental group is saying about how people can speak out?
And we are starting off our day very humid. We just stepped outside here for a brief break and oh my goodness, not a great hair day. But that chance for rain this afternoon is partly why it is so humid outside. I'll have those details and a look at where else it'll be very hot across the nation coming up.
The future of a wastewater treatment plant in northwestern Bexar County is in the hands of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. The people living along Scenic Loop have been fighting it for years. They say it will make San Antonio's drinking water unusable, along with several researchers. I spoke with an environmental group about what you can do if you don't want to see this wastewater treatment plant approved. The biggest concern is if this project was to happen and they build this waste plant, is that water safe to drink, especially for all of San Antonio residents?
The short answer is no. It's not safe to drink.
You may have heard about the concerns surrounding a possible wastewater treatment plant that'd be built in Northwest Bexar County. It's for a 2,500 home development project called Guajolote Ranch, and researchers say that treated wastewater would not be safe to drink. And locals say it would damage our delicate aquifer system, environment, and health of our city. The Texas Commission of Environmental Quality, the TCEQ, will decide if it's going to grant those permits for this wastewater treatment facility. So what can you do if you don't agree with this? Environment Texas says call the governor's office because he's the one that appoints those on TCEQ.
And I recommend to the public that if you want your voice heard, best to go to the elected official, not the appointed.
That means anyone, not just the people who live there who are already fighting this.
Public comment line for the governor's office where you can leave a voicemail and register your opinion. That's a real simple thing people could do. You could write a letter, but then absolutely, if you contact the lieutenant governor, to contact your state representative or state senator.
He says the governor, lieutenant governor, state legislators, keep those calls and letters coming. And then there's social media.
The public build enough power to overcome the power of that corporation. And so I think social media is an important part of that, because the more the word gets out, and in fact, I've seen this exact issue get a lot of traction online.
We've reached out to Lennar, the construction company behind this proposed Guajolote Ranch development, several times. So far, the company has not granted us an interview on these issues raised by the residents and the researchers about the potential impacts of that wastewater treatment facility. This morning, we're following up on a flood victim and her journey to getting back on her feet. Patty Santos visits with Stephanie Smith, an Ingram woman rescued on the morning of July 4th.
You were sitting there with your friend and it was full of just mud in there.
Yes.
I heard you told me somebody came in to help you.
A mother and her 19-year-old son and another mother with her 15-year-old daughter came in from San Antonio. Because of them, we would get whatever we could salvage, and then they took it over and we put it in the garage of the temporary housing I have now.
Stephanie Smith ran to safety on the morning of July 4th with nothing but her life and her dog.
These are my keys. There's my car key that no longer is valid. Here's my post office key from the Hunt post office that no longer exists. And there's the house key of the house that I don't have anymore.
The home she rented was on the property of the Hill Country Arts Foundation, which was also flooded out.
Sleeping when I heard a thumping right behind me, right there. I came to this window and I looked out and the water was here. It was water. And I knew if it was here, it was everywhere. It's freaky to come back here.
She got to higher ground, found a landline, and called for help. We met hours later at the Ingram Fire Department shelter.
Never been flooded before at the Hill Country.
3 weeks later, she's grateful for a rental car and a friend who's letting her have a temporary shelter. But getting herself back on her own 2 feet is overwhelming, even with help.
You're applying for FEMA as well, right?
I applied for FEMA yesterday for what?
And that's all a process. It takes time.
That was 5 or 6 hours, and you have the list and you're going, okay, so much for the rest of the stuff on the list. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for you, your kindness.
We're just here telling your stories.
From the first day with this woman.
Oh, you're so sweet. We're just here telling your stories. Thank you for letting us in. Thank you for following us, letting us follow in this journey to get a home and to get your life back.
Such strength out of the Hill Country.
Absolutely.
Such strength from our neighbors up there.
And I want to note on that, they have been very friendly to us when we're there. They want us to tell their stories. They've been very gracious to us, and I really appreciate their honesty with us. And I think it's important that we keep telling these stories.
Absolutely, because we are Flash Flood Alley, and flooding along the rivers is unfortunately likely going to happen at some point in the future. And so we need to do everything we can to be prepared for the next flood event. Here's the thing, though, that's not going to happen today. Yeah. We will have a few showers, pop-up downpours like yesterday. You had some, right?
Yep, I had one.
Here's a look at a video sent in by Skywatcher, Oscar, of his shower that he got out near the Stone Oak area. And you can see just how heavy that rain came down at times. No risk for flooding, no risk for hail, but definitely some times of heavy rain. And that is going to be the possibility today as well. Here's a look at the Authority rainfall totals. You can see just how sporadic the showers were yesterday. Let's go ahead and zoom in on one neighborhood. Let's take, for example, the Kirby area. Now, in some of these neighborhoods, this is Riddiman Road right here, you can see over an inch of rain fell, but you go just about 2 miles to the east toward Roosevelt High School, nothing Absolutely nothing. This is the definition of what kind of rain we could be dealing with today. Most people will miss out on the rain, but if you do get a shower or a storm, you could easily see a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain depending on how much rain you get. Down near Somerset, we saw some good rain. Down near Pleasanton and Jourdanton, an isolated shower. And then also nearer to Comfort and Kerrville, right near Cypress Creek, we also saw about a half an inch of rainfall there yesterday. We also saw some rain west of San Antonio for our neighbors out near to Brackettville and Del Rio. About half an inch of rain for the Brackettville area, a little bit less for folks near to Del Rio. So once again, this is the kind of rain we could see today. Looking at your future cast, this is a look at the afternoon. We're likely going to be seeing them pop up between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. That's when we could see a few of these pop-up downpours here and there. And once the sun sets, our rain chances go away for the day and for a good portion of the week as well. So just to put everything together for you in your KSAT 12-hour forecast, mostly cloudy out there right now. We'll see a little bit more sunshine by about noon, a 20% chance for some showers early this morning, but that really peaks in the afternoon. Pop-up downpours 30% through about 8 p.m. High temperature of 95. So it is going to be pretty warm in San Antonio, but it's going to be much warmer elsewhere across the nation. Let's take a look at the clouds and radar. You can see that our rain chances from this low pressure system that's working its way over Mexico right now. Heat high, meanwhile, is in place right over Georgia and northern Florida. This is the part of the nation that is going to be the hottest. Take a look at these heat alerts, heat advisories, and extreme heat warnings for a good portion of the nation. This is how hot it's going to feel later today. It'll feel like 111 in Tampa, feeling like 113 in Charleston, South Carolina, 110 in Jackson, Mississippi, and even in Lincoln, Nebraska, 111. Feeling hotter than in San Antonio over the next couple of days for those areas. That same heat high is going to inch closer to us. So by Wednesday, we'll be up to 100 degrees. The thing is, though, we're not going to stay super hot for very long because by Thursday our highs drop to closer to average, and the reason for that is there's actually some additional rain chances in our forecast on Thursday and Friday. In the next half hour of Good Morning San Antonio, we'll talk a little bit more about that second rain chance later on in the week. Sarah.
Okay, I will take some more rain.
Yeah, it'll be here and there spotty, but again, in spite of the fact that some of our area has seen too much rain, we still need rain in San Antonio. We're still under extreme drought.
Thank you, Sarah. It's 8:21 and 78 degrees. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's 8:24 and 78 degrees. Hey, coming up on GMSA, this video is crazy. Over 100 passengers evacuated off an American Airlines plane in Denver after they say they had an issue with landing gear. You don't want to miss this. Plus, what neighbors had to say after a massive fire erupted in Pleasanton yesterday. I'm sure you could see this on the skyline if you're looking south in Bexar County. We're gonna have that story coming back. Good morning. It's 8:28, 78 degrees. It is muggy out there on this Sunday morning.
That is the key right now. Everybody experiencing some pretty high humidity. Take a look at the dew points this morning. Dew points are at the absolute top of the scale. Tropical air mass in place. 75-degree dew point in San Antonio is about as humid as it gets here. So as you step outside, you'll notice that humidity right away. It's also warm. We're starting off close to 80 degrees, 78 in San Antonio, 79 in New Braunfels, 76 in Kerrville, 76 in Carrizo Springs, and 75 in Del Rio. Just like yesterday, we're going to have a chance for a few downpours, about a 30% chance, so a little bit less than yesterday, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is the time frame where we could be dodging downpours. Now, the good news is no hail and flooding is unlikely because these showers and these thunder showers will be moving. I'll have those details, a look at a warm up, and another rain chance by the end of the week. All of those details in a few minutes. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. To another fire that was reported yesterday evening on Corgi Road, a mountain of smoke and flames seen dominating the skyline on the south side of Bexar County on I-37 South. This after a firewood plant burst into flames in Pleasanton. So the Atascosa Fire Marshal tells us this happened just off I-37 in Pleasanton. And they got the call around 6:30 yesterday evening. The building is WW Wood Incorporated. It's a company that makes artificial logs. One man we spoke to said he could see that smoke across town.
And so I was coming off of 1604 by Randolph, and as soon as I crossed 10, I could see the smoke coming. When I was on 1604, and I said, well, that's over by the house. Looks like it's by the house. And I saw the big water truck get on 1604 and get off on 37 South.
Authorities say no one was inside the building at the time of the fire, and so far there are no reports of injuries. As for what caused the fire, that's still under investigation. Now to an update to a story we've been telling you about since Friday. The 8-year-old boy who was accidentally shot in the neck has died. His name is Daniel Casares. It's according to his family in the Bexar County Medical Examiner's office. The shooting happened at a home on Bob Billa Street that's on the southeast side of town. SAPD tells us a group of 4 children were handling a gun when it went off and a bullet hit Casares in the neck. At the time, Casares was rushed to the hospital, but again has since died from his injuries. Police add no parents were at the home when this happened, and a 13-year-old has been taken into custody while they investigate the shooting. A man has been arrested for a deadly shooting that occurred several weeks ago. So police say Jason Timothy Gonzalez, the 19-year-old you see on your screen there, that he got into a fight with his brother. And during the argument, he fired a gun but missed. That bullet traveled across a breezeway and struck a 37-year-old woman in a nearby apartment. She was rushed to the hospital where she later died. Gonzalez ran from the scene, but witnesses identified him to police, which led to his arrest. He's also been booked on separate charges, including aggravated robbery and unlawful carrying of a weapon. This all took place on June 14th at an apartment complex on Huebner. That's near Highway 87 and I-10. So that video I was trying to tell you about earlier, the Federal Aviation Administration says 173 passengers and 6 crew members were forced to evacuate on the runway prior to takeoff at the Denver International Airport. American Airlines blamed a possible problem with the landing gear and said before boarding, the plane had experienced a maintenance issue involving a tire. Fortunately, everyone was able to get off that plane safely. One person was taken to the hospital with minor injury. The FAA is now investigating. A group of about 25 florists from across Texas have come together to support families affected by the Hill Country floods. The group called Flowers for Texas is donating funeral flowers free of charge to help bring some comfort to grieving families.
When you walk into this charming shop,
and I smell that smell of fresh flowers in the cooler,
the sweetness is beyond the flowers.
It never gets old.
Corey Hartley is a designer at Cleburne Floral and part of a quickly formed coalition called Flowers for Texas.
I was paralyzed. This is not something that affected just the Hill Country. This has affected all of us.
Around 25 florists across the state are donating services and arrangements to any families who lost someone in the 4th of July floods.
If it is casket sprays or standing sprays or whatever, we're trying to take care of all of it. And every single person that has jumped up and volunteered has done it so freely, and we're charging not one penny.
More than financial relief, Corey says Flowers acknowledge those who died. Wednesday, he heads to Kingswood, where 15 florists are helping with one funeral.
They're not missing just one family member. The whole family is gone.
A young boy named Shiloh and his parents, killed in Kerrville, will be celebrated this week.
I haven't done so many flowers for one service in 30 years.
As he learns about the family, each bouquet, each wreath, each spread will be crafted for them.
The little boy, of course, you know, the colors are a little bit more primary and colorful. Mom and dad are more traditional.
Corey realizes he and a team of florists he's never met through Flowers for Texas are in it for the long haul.
There's a lot of funerals, and these funerals are huge funerals, and they take a lot of manpower.
And he hopes the heartbreak will grow into something beautiful.
We will have made some sort of mark on their lives.
A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit against Chicago over its sanctuary city policies. The Department of Justice sued the city, Cook County, and Illinois. The suit said local law enforcement agencies blocked federal immigration law by refusing to participate in enforcement or share the status of criminals. In the dismissal, a U.S. District Court judge said the federal government cannot legally force states to carry out a federal regulatory program. The case was dismissed without prejudice, which means it can be appealed or refiled ahead of an August 22nd deadline. It is 8:35 and 78 degrees. San Antonio continues to come together to support the Hill Country. How yesterday's Coffee for Kerr featured coffee with a purpose. And the fluoride debate continues this morning. Still ahead, how government officials are ramping up to remove it from our water and products.
And we can see that we have got some sunshine out there, but also tons of clouds. We do expect additional rain chances this afternoon. It'll be spotty, but you got a chance to see a few downpours today. Details soon.
Good morning. President Trump may be an ocean away from Washington right now, but he just can't get away from the Jeffrey Epstein saga. Speaker Johnson sent the House of Representatives home for the rest of the summer, but those demanding more transparency on the Epstein case say the issue won't go away. I'll be talking to two of the lawmakers calling for the Epstein files to be released, Republican Tom Massey and Democrat Ro Khanna. And we'll take a look at the Deputy Attorney General's meetings this week with Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. We'll also be checking in with ESPN First Take host Stephen A. Smith on how the Democrats are approaching all of this and more. And we'll talk with Save the Children's Gaza humanitarian director Rachel Cummings about the increasingly dire crisis on the ground in the Gaza Strip. All of that and more coming up on This Week.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has pledged to make America healthy again. That includes a campaign against fluoride. Two states, Utah and Florida, have banned adding fluoride into public drinking water. Now the FDA is gearing up to ban prescription fluoride supplements. Former KSAT reporter Lee Waldman, who is now with CNN, is in New York with what experts are saying about the removal of fluoride.
Often referred to as the champagne of drinking water, New York City's water is carefully monitored by the Department of Environmental Protection.
Our job is to make sure that we are adding the precise amount of fluoride within a very narrow band. Too little and it doesn't do its job. Too much and it could be harmful.
The city's acting commissioner of health says the addition of fluoride is important for the health of New Yorkers and opposes its removal.
I'd be concerned about kids who live in families where getting into preventative care is very challenging. And there are tremendous barriers to care, unfortunately, in New York City.
The CDC's recommended fluoride concentration is 0.7 milligrams per liter of water, about equal to 3 drops of water in a 55-gallon barrel. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is advising to remove it altogether. HHS and the EPA are reviewing a report from the National Toxicology Program linking high levels of fluoride, more than double the recommended amount, to lower IQ in children. But there was insufficient data to determine the impact of lower levels. Dr. Vicky Evangelita Sakelson with Columbia University's Dental College agrees with many in her field that fluoride in water is safe and effective. She thinks politicians should leave science to the experts.
It is a complex problem, and they should give money and funding to do the studies. So when we talk based on data, and we don't talk based on feelings.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
Thank you, Lee. So what does coffee and DJs and the Creamery District have in common? All three of those things came together to raise donations for the Hill Country. Cream Coffee hosted a number of DJs to play their sets and get people pumped up while collecting essentials like food, hygiene items, and diapers for the victims of the Hill Country floods.
It's important to use our platforms. We're blessed with a really great support system. Everybody on the lineup has a community of people who love and support them, and I think putting that towards something good is really important and something the world needs.
All right, nerd-tastic news this weekend from the worlds of Pokemon, Godzilla, and G.I. Joe. Rick
Damagella.
Thank you.
Rick Damagella reports.
There goes Tokyo again. The 2016 film Shin Godzilla is heading back to the big screen. The movie has been remastered in 4K with select theaters slated for screenings in 4DX and D-Box. Shin Godzilla stomps into theaters August 14th. New Pokemon projects appear. The Pokemon Company has unveiled multiple upcoming adventures. Among them are the just-released Pokemon Friends, playable on Nintendo Switch, Switch 2, Android, and iOS devices. On the animation side, the company showed footage from the new season of Netflix's Pokemon Concierge and revealed a sneak peek at a new animated Poke series produced by Aardman, slated to arrive in 2027. If you are a G.I. Joe fan, no, your ears are not deceiving you. That is the band Cold Slither performing its eponymous metal tune. Originating in an episode of the 80s cartoon G.I. Joe, Cold Slither is now a very real band consisting of members of Gruesome, Exhumed, and KMFDM. Cold Slither's self-titled debut album is out now. Nerding out in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
All right, Sarah, I'm going to give you another opportunity to say that reporter's name.
Rick Damagella.
There you go.
I said it right?
You said it correctly.
I've said it a million times. Sometimes I just couldn't get it out.
I'll always be just off screen to help you pronounce something.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the weather.
What are friends for?
That's what we're for. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather. Here's the thing you need to know for today. Know that there will be some spotty downpours from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Temperatures, though, will be climbing. We'll be near 100 degrees by Wednesday. And the next chance for rain arrives Thursday and Friday, so it is going to be a bit of an active week. Hey, take a look at this picture sent in to us through KSAT Connect. This is out in Rock Springs from Jeanette. Thank you so much. You can see that beautiful rainbow there. You can't have a rainbow without rain, and areas in Rock Springs did see a little bit of rain yesterday. Take a look at this. This is a look at the rainfall amounts just north of Rock Springs. A lot of ranch lands out there, about 1/4 of an inch of rain there. We also had plenty of rain down near Bracketville. Anywhere you see this green color, that's about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. And then around San Antonio, a decent amount of rain too. Let's take a look at the rainfall. It was spotty. There were definitely areas that missed out on the rain completely, like New Braunfels, Stockdale, and even areas in San Antonio, like nearer to JBSA Lackland. No rain yesterday, but there were some neighborhoods that received a decent amount of rainfall. Let's go to the Stone Oak area. Here is a 1604 and Hollywood Park location. You can see that in some of these neighborhoods, they received in some cases up to nearly 1 inch of rain. But you go just a little to the east here, closer to Redland Road, by only 1.5 miles, and there was nothing out there as far as rainfall goes. So this kind of spotty rain is what is likely today in the afternoon. So there will be people that miss out on the rain completely, and then there will be those that get some rainfall. So from about 2 p.m. through about 8 p.m., a 30% chance for you to see rain in your backyard, otherwise high of 95. And then once we see the sun set, we're going to lose our chance for rain for the day. These showers and thunder showers are going to be fueled by the sun. The only kind of risks with these thunder showers would be lightning. So when thunder roars, go indoors, otherwise no hail. We're not expecting any flooding issues as well. Looking at the clouds and radar across the nation, the reason for the small chance for rain today is because of that low pressure system still bringing in energy from the Gulf. Otherwise, another big story across the nation is the heat high. The heat high is going to be drifting toward Texas in the coming days, but today and tomorrow it is going to be causing some big issues out to the east of Texas. Take a look at the forecast heat index value for a good portion of the nation today. It's going to feel like 110 in Charleston, feel like 106 in Tampa, feeling like 110 in Omaha, and feeling like 102 in Minneapolis today. These are areas, especially in the northern part of the United States, that are not often that much warmer than San Antonio. So again, that heat high is real deal. It'll be inching closer to Texas. By Wednesday, we'll be looking at a temperature of 100 degrees. That would be the 5th time we hit 100 this year. Not too bad for San Antonio standards. As we, though, look toward Thursday, notice that temperatures come down a bit. Here's the reason why. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday, that heat high will be pretty much directly overhead. Then by Thursday, Friday, another disorganized area of low will be moving into south central Texas, providing isolated downpours Thursday and Friday. Once again, a 30% chance Thursday and Friday with the high temperature in the mid 90s, which is just a little bit cooler than seasonably average for this time of year. So it could be worse. We could be dealing with day after day of triple-digit heat. Instead, we've got small chances for rain both today and Thursday and Friday. Sarah, I'm hoping we get the pollen count in and hoping I can show that within the next 10 minutes before the show's over, Sarah.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. All right, it's 8:49 and 78 degrees. We'll be right back. An overlooked diet food is making a surprising comeback. We're talking about cottage cheese. Sales are up 20% in the U.S. compared to a year ago. That's according to market research. And those sales have been climbing every year since 2022. The increase is being attributed to influencers who've created new recipes with cottage cheese and posted them to apps like TikTok. Some brands like Organic Valley and Good Culture have reported actual spot shortages. And the CEO of the grocery chain, Albertsons, recently said on earnings call that cottage cheese is a strong growth category. The turnaround comes as Americans are increasingly look for high protein and low sugar foods. And it's Superhero Sunday at The Rock at Frost Plaza, a great way for families to relax, enjoy some movies together. They are screening the DC League of Super Pets at 6:30 p.m. There'll be games and giveaways 30 minutes before the movie. It's free to attend with free parking. Just make sure to bring your own blanket and lawn chairs. Hot Wheels monster trucks. They're live back in town. Catch the thrilling show at the Frost Bank Center today at 2:30 p.m. The Glow and Fire event will feature a fiery twist with appearances from Hot Wheels monster trucks like Mega Rex, Tiger Shark, and 5 Alarm. I don't know who any of these are. A link to buy tickets can be found on our website. And looking ahead to Monday, you can roll up a sleeve to help out the Hill Country. District 9 plans to hold a blood drive to help the Hill Country flood victims. The blood drive is expected to take place outside of District 9 City Council office. It runs from 9 in the morning till 2 p.m. You can make an appointment. Walk-ins are also welcome. And the community outreach program of the San Antonio Police Officers Association, Blue Cares, is teaming up with Alamo City Golf Trail to collect essential hygiene items for Kerrville and surrounding area residents. From now through August 1st, donation boxes will be available at 7 participating golf courses throughout San Antonio. There's a list of requested items like on your screen, like toothpaste and toothbrushes, soap, shampoo, deodorant, and more.
All right, here's that pollen count. Molds are the only allergen present and they're low, just up a little bit from yesterday. Today, there's a small chance for a few downpours between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Otherwise, we're going to be warming up to near 100 by Wednesday. Next chance for rain is Thursday and Friday. Highs back down into the mid 90s. So Sarah, back to that cottage cheese story.
Yeah.
Are you a fan?
I love cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese is like literally my favorite.
Low key, like it's just one of those foods.
Are we cottage cheese fans?
We're cottage cheese girls.
All right. I guess that's a new name for us.
I guess we're cool. But I mean, we knew it was cool before the influencers knew it cool.
Yeah, that's what all cool people say. We know we're cool.
Yeah, I think it just means we're old.
Probably.
Old now. Hey, go get yourself some cottage cheese. Have a good